Hi, I'm Liz Smith. I'm the author of the Coping with Depression blog. Today I'd like to talk to you about coping with adverse circumstances in your life when you're also coping with depression. It's hard enough having depression in the first place, but when you also have to cope with difficult circumstances in your life, that can really set you off on a downward spiral. Along with depression can come anxiety and an inability to tolerate a lot of stress. So when things in life do go wrong, as they sometimes can do, it can be tough when you're already dealing with a mental illness. Of course, adverse circumstances can make depression return or make it worse. Things like financial difficulties, relationship problems, illness, stress at work, or loss and conflict. Sometimes we don't cope very well, and it is easy to get down about how we're not coping or not addressing all the problems in our lives. But that's because the depression doesn't allow us to. We can use these experiences when we didn't cope well to learn. Why didn't we cope well? In my case, recently, it was because I didn't identify that my depression was triggered and I didn't put myself on alert, so to speak, to the signs of depression coming back. So now I understand better what will trigger my symptoms, and I'll be able to put a plan in place that will help me get the depression under control so I can deal with things better. People with depression are often really sensitive little souls, and sometimes things can really seem like they can't be solved, but actually we can solve our problems with a bit of work. A trusted friend or family member can help you to put things in perspective if you run things by them, but this needs to be someone who will be honest with you. Getting tea and sympathy is all very well, but you need someone who can tell you honestly whether you might be blowing something up out of proportion, as sometimes we have a tendency to do. I know I do anyway. I've got a couple of good friends who will help me with this, and they'll tell me if my reaction seems appropriate to the problem, and they'll also make helpful suggestions for me. And both these friends are people who have also experienced depression themselves. It does need to be someone who understands you very well and will do this sensitively and won't dismiss your worries or your feelings. Dealing with depression and stress in your life can make you tired and make you feel depleted or overwhelmed. It's really important, therefore, to try and get enough rest and make time for doing activities that you find enjoyable. And don't isolate yourself. When you're dealing with adversity and fighting on all fronts, it's tempting to focus only on your problems 24/7, but you need to take a break from them. Diet isn't also important. Eating healthy foods and staying hydrated helps your brain and body cope better with stress. Eating lots of sugary stuff, even though it might be tempting, or using caffeine and alcohol will put your body under more strain. If you're dealing with depression right now and also some adversity in your life, I want you to know that you can cope and that you will come out the other side. It doesn't always seem like it. And the reality is that when you have depression, it is tougher to cope, but you can do it.